Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I know it's been a little bit since I have last posted a video, but I've been so busy this month with branding and website work, so things have been a little bit hectic recently for me. But I have finished up with a few projects, so now I have more time to create content for all of you, which I'm very, very excited about. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Shah. I am a branding and web designer based in the UK, and today I'm making a video for all of the new designers out there or aspiring designers. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the different tools that I use as a branding and website designer and how you can learn them easily and efficiently. So let's get right into it. Okay, so firstly, I know that not every designer uses the same tools. I'm speaking specifically about me being a brand and website designer. Obviously, even within that, there are so many different platforms that you can use, but I do think that these are sort of industry standard. A lot of designers will know about these or use them themselves. In terms of branding, what I use is Adobe Illustrator. Now I use these to make the logos, to manipulate fonts, to create graphics. If I do any kind of hand-drawn graphics, I put it into Illustrator and kind of clean up the lines a little bit. So I use this the most, I would say, in terms of branding work. The next thing I also use for branding is Photoshop. So Photoshop is more for creating like mock-ups and everything. So when I give off a logo or a branding concept to my client, I don't just give them the logo. I give them a full branding guidelines deck, and that includes, mock-ups so they can really see how their branding is going to look like in the real world. So I do use Illustrator, Photoshop. I've dabbled in InDesign. For some reason, I just don't like it. Maybe I need to learn more about it, but I use mainly Illustrator to kind of create my PDFs that I send out to my clients. So in terms of branding, those are the kind of tools that I use. And when we move over to web design, I mainly use something called Adobe XD. So there are different options. There is another very well-known one used in the industry called Figma, which I believe it is free. I actually haven't signed up yet. I am wanting to learn more about it, but I have been using and loving XD at the moment. I've kind of got a hang of using the different animation tools and the plugins, so I've been really loving XD right now. So yeah, that is basically what I use when it comes to me designing, me making the prototypes, and then me sending off to the client to get feedback. So yeah, it's a very, very useful platform to have when you're dealing with clients. So those are the three main platforms that I would say I use as a branding and web designer. So we've got Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and XD. Some other things I dabble in are Adobe After Effects, just because I like to create animations and give the website some depth and some movement. So I do like to incorporate some animation. So I do need to, know how to use platforms like Adobe After Effects or Adobe Premiere Pro. I also use Final Cut Pro. So those are the kind of tools that I use. I wouldn't say it's 100% necessary to be using those when you're starting out, but definitely as you want to upgrade your website and you want to improve them and kind of make them more interesting, definitely have a look into how you can incorporate animations and Lottie files into your website. So having said what I have used, it's all pretty much Adobe software. So you need to start by getting a membership. If you're a student, that's great. You can get a student discount. If you're not, there are other ways around how you can get a bit of a discount. I can link a video where I talk about that down below. So now that you've got your software, you've downloaded everything, now it's time to actually learn how to use it. Now this is a bit of a learning curve because I remember the first time I opened up Photoshop and I was so intimidated by everything. Obviously it's a new interface, you don't know what you're doing. So then I basically taught myself how to use it. Now, back then, I didn't really know of any courses. I didn't really know of any tutors that could help me. So what I did was I basically just kind of picked everything up from YouTube, which I feel like it did leave me a little bit of gaps in my knowledge in terms of these platforms because I was only YouTubing specific things rather than getting a deeper insight into all of the features that Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator has to offer. So that is one route you can go down, but also there is an element of there is no additional help. So if you're stuck on something, there really isn't any guidance. You're kind of just there watching a video, and if something goes wrong, you can't troubleshoot it because you don't have that additional help. So yeah, that is just something to bear in mind if you are learning through YouTube. Having said all of that, I have been asked a few times now from different people about how to learn the software, because I think there are a lot of people wanting to get into graphic design, web design, and they just don't know where to start. And for a long time, I didn't really have the right answer, because obviously someone who's self-taught, who learned through YouTube, I couldn't really give them a proper course to take, just because the courses I have taken were courses more to do with the business side of things, not actually learning the skill of design and graphic design. So thankfully, I actually came across this website called BYOL. It stands for Bring Your Own Laptop, and it's basically a library of courses that you can go through that covers everything on Adobe software. If you want to be some other kind of designer and you need another platform, they've got everything on there as well. If you wanted to get into Figma instead of XD like I'm on, they also have that. So it's not just Adobe, they do offer kind of industry standard softwares that you would use as a graphic designer. And on top of that, they have courses where you can earn a certificate, so you can show any potential clients, you can put up on your LinkedIn. I have just completed one, which is the After Effects one, because although I have been self-taught in After Effects, there are a lot of gaps in my knowledge. Doing this course actually made those very clear to me. So I picked up such useful information by doing that course. I have my certificate here. So this is what it will look like. So you've got your name, and then it's obviously the instructor is an Adobe certified instructor. And it's just really, really nice to have, as you can see. So I do want to speak to you a little bit more about BYOL and why it might be a good fit for you. Firstly, there are a few instructors there to help you. So if you ever get stuck with anything, you can always reach out to them. They reply very quickly. I've had nothing but good experiences with them. So the tutorials are run by Dan Scott, who owns BYOL, and he's the main instructor. And the way he does the courses is so amazing. He's also a fellow Kiwi, but the way he does his courses are really good. They're fun, they're engaging, they're very educational, which is very good when you're trying to watch a course that can be quite long. He's also an Adobe certified instructor and an Adobe certified expert. So as you can see on the certificate that I have, it's all accredited by Adobe. It's an authorized training center, which is very good and just makes it look more credible when you're showing potential employees or clients. So if you go onto the website, basically there are so many courses. Obviously you can see like everything from Dreamweaver to Figma to graphic design to color theory to UX UI design, everything you would need as a aspiring graphic designer. Even if you already are a graphic designer and you want something more advanced, they cater to beginner and advanced levels. Best thing about it, in my opinion, is that it is only $12 US per month, which I've seen a lot of other courses out there and they're so much more expensive, and this encompasses everything. You have full access to all of the courses, the certificates are no extra charge, it's all inclusive. And apart from that, you get exclusive membership benefits as well. So you have the exclusive members only podcast where you can listen to interviews of people in the creative industry. As you can tell, I am very passionate about this website. If you're a new designer, it's got absolutely everything you would ever need on there. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'll leave a link on the screen and I'll leave a link in the description below. So just click through there and you can sign up straight away. Another thing I wanted to touch on, which is really important when you're learning things, is learning versus doing, and doing the like practical side of things. So if you can, keep doing these different projects. Obviously it's one thing watching something on YouTube or watching a course, but if you're not actually doing things, I feel like you tend to forget things very, very quickly. So what I would say is learn something and then go and practice it yourself. Obviously you can do that on YouTube, but as I said, bring your own laptop. They basically have the course, but then they give you projects to do throughout the course, and you can upload those projects, you can use them for your portfolio. And then once you upload those projects, you have the teaching experts who are there to give you advice or give you feedback on what you've done. So it's very, very useful, and it keeps you so accountable when you're actually trying to learn in depth one of these design platforms. So I'm going to wrap that up here. Hopefully that answers your questions if you're a new aspiring designer and you're wanting to know how to learn these platforms and what you should be learning. As I said, Bring Your Own Laptop has been a game changer for me in learning and kind of addressing gaps in my knowledge on the software that I use on a daily basis. So I would definitely recommend to check that out. Obviously, it's not a huge investment, but it is so worth the money, and I highly recommend that. If you have any other questions about graphic design, if you're just starting out and you don't really know where to begin or what to do or the first steps to take, then definitely reach out to me. Leave a comment down below, or you can reach out to me on my Instagram. I will leave everything down below as always, and we can chat further there. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, if you found this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.